Nagaland Total Prohibition Act 1990 te assent paikna 20 साल हुआ पिछते Nagaland Baptist Church Council laga General Secretary Rev Zelhou Kehyo pra janaishi ki church ek to khali religious belief thaka nimite ekla support karna hoy koikna koishi. Nagaland Post logote exclusive interview te Kehyo pra janaishi ki NLTP Act to society te mudu prakinika korekina impact kore kote families majote breakdowns or financial instability ane itu janaishi.
Is the church basing its insistence on prohibition on biblical teachings, and whether this is enough to justify the continuance of the act?
Well, I think not just only on a biblical teaching or on the theological framework, but there is also a social component in this Prohibition Act. Yes, drunkenness is wrong because it leads to multiple social evil act. But from a social point of view, this alcoholism. When it comes to the family, there is, it breaks the family apart, couples apart. The father who is an alcoholic spend most of his earning in drinking. So I think it is both. What is wrong, what the Bible says, and also what we observe from a social point of view. Yeah.
Sir, do you sincerely believe that NLTP Act will ever be successful, however hard you may try and make the government enforce it?
When you say will ever be successful, I don't know. I don't know whether I can say it will be successful. But I think this is something that we must continue to work on so that the effect of evil is less seen in our society. So is it going to be successful? Well, maybe if all of us join and say alcohol is bad, it will be successful. But there will be there will always be a component of people in the society where they will say this, that. We hear voices that alcohol. This Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition Act should be lifted. To be successful, I think we all have to work hard.
Sir, why is the church so focused only on NLTP Act since we are unaware of any other issues other than the clean election campaign?
Well, I don't know, but I believe that people also see what the church does. The way they run the programs, even in the local church, and the way we do things, responding to the disaster. One thing that we avoid doing is we don't advertise ourselves and say we're doing this, we're doing that. But I think there are lots of things unnoticed that the church is doing. For example, clean election movement. Yes, it's a very visible movement. But why do we invest our time, our energy in this clean election movement? The reason why we are embarking on this clean election movement is, I think, the dirty electioneering practice has given birth to lots of unwanted situation in our context. Corruption is one, non-performance is one. So I think once we are successful in this, I think we can also take control of other situations as well. When we say clean election movement, we are also moving against corruption, good governance. So one movement, I think we are also addressing several issues that are there.
Sir, you just say that if we are successful, so do you think that clean election will also be, won't become another NLTP Act? Because even in the recent ULB election that is going on, even that election itself is bringing in a lot of corruptions, as we can see. So people are openly giving letters asking for money, openly asking for votes. What do you think? Don't you think this will become another NLTP Act?
Well, just because we see this and that discouraging movement, discouraging act, we cannot stop talking on telling people to do things right. And the church cannot stop at what we are just only seeing. We have to continue to educate our people, because of ULB, there are some other associations moving around the towns and then propagating the clean election principles and say whether it is assembly election, general election, or ULB is the same. Stay focused, vote right, and we cannot say clean election movement is just only for a state election. It is for every election, even for that matter, choosing leaders in the village level, choosing leaders in the student organization, or even choosing leaders in civil body organizations. So, because of so many discouraging things, when success is not seen, when success is not apparent, people tend to always blame the church. But I agree with what one writer said. Don't just go to church, be the church. And I think we are failing in that. We are going to church, but we are not. We fail to be the church.
Also, sir, are you aware that by and large, a majority of people have accepted the failure of NLTP Act in Nagaland? Mm-hmm. And many are concerned that the Act only promotes black market and illicit distillations and adulteration. Mm.
Yeah, black marketing, these illegal productions, the failures, those are apparent. I admit, and I think the church is also not blind to that. If the church says NLTP is successful, I think I will be lying. But I think there is also a shadow of fear because of the act, whether it is successful or not. And to say that the majority of the people admit that it has failed, that may not be the right statement as well. People living in Kohima and Dimapur, people who are in social media, perhaps from that perspective, that statement may be right. But there are also people in the rural area, village sectors, where they are able to control the situation because of the act. And I think totally failed? Yes, we have failed, but we also have to see the reason why we have failed. The act is there, but it is put in the cold storage, and we have never implemented. In fact, the act of 1990, June 24, not June 24, April 24, 1990. That's not the first act. The first act was in 1967. And this act, with the word total, that word total is misleading, because the 1990 Act is has taken at least 60 or 70% of a 1967 Act. So it's a regulated act, like a 1967 Act. So the word total is misleading. If you go through the act, you will see that a medical doctor can prescribe to an alcoholic a certain amount of alcohol for a month or for how many days. So that kind of thing is there. Granting license, is also there. License to carry, to transport. But then this now illegal license, illegal production has taken over the legal act that is there. So the word total prohibition, I think, is a misused word. It is more or less like a regulated act.
So what is the church response to this? And also the narrative that the NLTP Act has been financially a disaster, since liquor is still being sold and consumed across the state.
This, I think, we all acknowledge that liquor is found everywhere, but that is because we have not really applied the regulated act. Illegal business has taken over, as I have stated earlier. Illegal business has taken over the legal process that was there in the act. And those illegal business business that are run are not by ordinary people. It's controlled by people who are wealthy, who knows the system. That's why legal business cannot be done. Legal control cannot be done. From time to time, we have this, destroying of liquor that are confiscated, but it is just only a fraction of it. So I think what has given birth to the illegal business is because we are not able to implement the act properly.
Sir, so here, in which area do you think the church can work actively with the government?
Well, we have also talked with the government, not just only the Nagaland Baptist Church Council, but the Nagaland Joint Christian Forum. We have also shared our views and pressed upon the government to implement the act, and also let us know in which way the church can be of help. Now, we also cannot just wait for the government to come and say, you help in this area. The church is also now trying to be actively involved in the ministry of rehabilitation. We have encouraged churches to run rehab centers, and there are some associations that are picking up ministry to the alcoholics. We cannot just keep, the whole frame of mind is to look at these alcoholics as sinners, as they rejected Lord. But we're saying, reach out to them. They need us. They need the church. So be the church to them. So that ministry of encouragement is now picking up, and we hope that we will be successful, and not just only be waiting upon the act to be implemented, because for the church, a drunkard or whatever are all our members, and it is our responsibility to reach out to them. So the role that we can play is to encourage the church to pick up the ministry to these alcoholics. Yeah.
Is the church having any definite blueprint to make the government deliver good governance, and has the NBCC ever spoken openly about the state of affairs in Nagaland?
We have, if we look at our Naga society, we have become very negative, very cynical. We are losing trust in each other. People are losing trust in the church, even though they are member of the church. They go there, they worship. The moment they go out, their finger is pointing to the church, the failure. But when we say the church is failing, it is. If I say the church is failing, I should also admit that I'm failing. Earlier, I have pointed out that we have to be the church. That aspect is not there, but we just want to put down the government. We just want to put down the people who are in power, and we think that by doing that we get a sense of satisfaction. But that is the attitude of holier than thou. I'm better than you attitude. So I think cynicism, negativity, or negative attitude, I think we have to put this away and encourage each other to do to perform. Have we ever talked about good governance? Yes, we do that. What is a clean election movement? It's about a good governance, and telling people to vote right is telling our members to say don't do things in the corrupt way, because if you do it, then you are not going to get the return. From that stance, we are also educating our members to do things right. So I think we have reached a moment where we have to encourage each other, build up each other, to do good things, rather than just only be cynical about each other. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. The abuse system is not just only from the government. The abuse system is also from the elite group of people. Domestic violence. Look at the domestic violence, abuse of employees. Their proper share is not given, and yet we think that they think that they are doing the right thing. But good governance is not just only in the government sector; it is also in the private sector. Am I giving enough to my employees? And am I treating them well? It is not just only the government that is failing. It is not the church that is failing. Not only the church that is failing, we are all failing, because we failed to look at each other in a positive lens. Yeah.
Is the church giving any input on the Naga political issue? And whether the factionalization of the Naga movement is a hindrance on the social peace, leave alone anything about independence?
Well, I think the church has a long history of involvement in peace process. But we are also very clear, we have made our stand very clear and say, unless the Naga, the political groups come together, nothing is going to happen. And true to that, after making that statement 10, 15 years ago, now we are seeing more factions now. Our political groups are also fragmented. Someone was saying that now we have 25 different groups. Time to celebrate the silver jubilee kind of things. But the church stand is come together and then talk on the same issue. If everyone is talking the same thing, why do we need to have so many different groups? The church, we have said, we are not going to be part of the negotiating team, but we can play an active role in uniting the factions, different groups. So I think unless we come together, it is still a long way for our dreams to be achieved. Yeah.
Sir, is NBCC not engaging with NGOs and political parties separately, where various issues can be discussed?
I think we are always in interaction with the NGOs, with the civil societies, because they also know that they cannot run their programs without the church. But one thing we are very clear, the church is very clear about the separations of church and state. But just because of our clarity in the thought doesn't mean that we withdraw ourselves from civil societies or from the government or from the NGOs. We extend our help, we provide moral support, but we don't want the government to impose their will upon the church. Likewise, we also don't want to impose our will upon the government. So we have a clear distinction of the church and the state. Yeah.
So what is in your mind? What in your mind is the biggest achievement of NBCC, and where do you think it will go in the next 10 years?
I don't know what is the greatest achievement of NBCC. That's a difficult question. I think if there is anything that we have done right, I think people should know. But as of now, the social media, if we look at the social media, we are presented as if we are not doing anything. But I think the church is proactive. We are a political group. We don't play politics, even though we are blamed saying this and that. But we have, I think the church here in Nagaland, not just only in the region but also from a national level, we have stood our ground defending the religious minority, and That's one thing that we are proud of. Where they cannot defend themselves, we speak on their behalf. And I think the proactive involvement of the church in Nagaland, outside of us, I think is seen from that perspective. But in the next 10 years to come, I don't know, but I hope that the church will stay put with keeping the church together, working for the state unity, and then encourage the institutions to do well, the government, and even the different sectors, because our society as of now is really fragmented. So I hope the church will stand strong in unifying the social fabrics of the Naga society as well.
So during the Lok Sabha election, there was very confusing. There was very confusing articles and very both on social media and both on papers also, because the NBCC was attacked for and being called involved in the election. So what is your say on that? And the 60 legislators stood with one person, and that was destroyed by the Congress, just one candidate, who is just one candidate. Do you think this was all, this was a play of a religion play?
Well, it's difficult to say. We cannot be rejoicing over the failure of a party or a group. But since 2017, we have made ourselves very clear that we have to be careful with any political party that is communal. Because India is a secular state, and yes, we enjoy the freedom here in our region, but think about our brothers and sisters outside of our region, outside of the Northeast region, where they go through untold miseries and sufferings. So we have put our statement forward that freedom of religion is important. And not only that, freedom of speech is important. Secularism is important. So we are clear. Communalism, communal political party that try to break away the social fabrics of any state or whatever, we have to watch out. When that statement was made, I think people took it in a sense, in a way that we have supported a particular political party. But we have never said vote for this, vote for that. We have made it clear to the constituent and say, this is what is happening. If you want to see change, if you want to see things moving in the right directions, now is the time. You can say so with your vote. And I think the people voted, not just because we say vote for this party, but based on the situation that is happening. I agree. Not everything that are being presented in the social medias are right. That I agree. But we also see that in the last 10 years or so, we have been cornered. So Have we supported a political party? No. But have we made our stand clear? Yes, we have made our stand clear.